So here we are then, folks, a massive episode for you today. 2 games against Bayern Munich as we look to continue our title push. This is episode 14. So hello everyone, welcome to our Dortmund career mode here on FIFA 22. If you're new here, welcome, thanks for joining us. First things first, go and have a look at the other episodes previously before coming on to this one, as you will of course not know where we're at. A lot of stuff happens, quite exciting, so I would highly advise you go and do it. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Thanks for joining me yet again. In the last episode, you'll remember that we of course took on Bayer Leverkusen. It was first versus second. We came out very successfully at that and came out successfully in the league in general as well. We qualified through in the Champions League. The only downside was that we did lose in the DFB Pokal and got knocked out by Cologne. So I was really frustrated by that. Other than that though, it's been a really successful season so far. Today we have just a tremendous episode, so packed. We've got 2 games against Bayern Munich, which we'll go into shortly. We've got the transfer window in January as well. May even start the Champions League sort of campaign, resume it as well in terms of the Lisbon game, the knockout game. So there's just a heap to get through, so much to get through. So from the last episode we spoke about, we didn't know quite what we were going to go do for this episode. Today I have decided we're going to live comp this first game against Bayern Munich away at the Allianz Stadium, and then, although Allianz Arena isn't in the game, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go through transfer window. I think I'm going to sim both of these games against Wolfsburg and Arminia Bielefeld as we look to get through transfer window. Not expecting loads of movement, to be honest, but never say never. We do have a lot of money knocking about, and it is there if I did wish to spend it. And then we're going to come into this month, in February. I think we're going to post-com most of these games, to be honest. We'll put the Bayern Munich one in there as well. Didn't want to do 2 live comms. It does just elongate the episode a little bit with the transfer window in there as well. So I really want to pick one or the other. So we're going to go for this game, the first one, to really set it up. And then most of these these games, should I say, will be in a post-com format. So I really can't wait to get going. I'm going to be so excited, it really is. First things first, let's have a look at the league table before we go into any transfer business, which we'll talk about on the other end of this Bayern Munich game. Currently, level on points with Leverkusen, with that game in hand against Bayern Munich. Against Munich, we are currently 8 points better off. However, that can all change if they do beat us today. We have struggled against them, really. I think they beat us maybe 2 times out of 3 so far, so it's going to be a really tough one, and we've done twice today. We'll see where we're really at. So what about the lineup then? Well, I'm sure you could have predicted my lineup before we went into it. The only real change is, of course, Marco Reus coming into the side. You might remember from last episode, Giovanni Reina had a season-ending injury. I'm pretty sure it was an ACL. So he's done. And we've got to find a replacement. In our last game against Bayern Munich, Marco Reus really came to the forefront, absolutely played out of his skin. So I'm hoping for a repeat performance today. That's why we've opted for him over Thorgan Hazard. As for Bayern Munich, just looking at their team, absolutely ridiculous. How have EA not fixed this issue? Why is the centre-back Upamecano at right-back? Why is Odriozola at centre-back? Why is the left-back at centre-back in Davis? Why is Omar Richards playing at right-wing? You know, just baffling. Please sort it out. I cannot believe this is still an issue. This was a problem like 10 years ago and it's still rearing its ugly head now. So other than that, quite excited for this game. How we'll be able to deal with that, I don't know. Although it's worth bearing in mind they've got a lot of pace at centre-back. So that's going to be tough for us to try and compete with, particularly with Davis. But having said that, our strikers are absolutely on fire at the moment. Adeyemi and Thuram going up front with today. We could have gone with Marlon. We decided to go with those 2. Absolutely in fine form. This is, of course, the final game before that ridiculously long winter break of about 5 weeks. So it's just extremely important, even more so, that we can go into that with a good result, rather than having to dwell on it for the entire, pretty much the entire month of January and the rest of December as well. And so Karim Adeyemi will get the game underway. We start with the ball, and what a proposition we have in store for us. Oh, Lucas Moore finds the bit of space, works the ball past Oh, crosses it in. Rebounds there. Good save from Kobel to deny Robert Lewandowski against his former club. Really caught that well, nice and clean. And it did force him into a good save. Oh, that is a phenomenal ball to Lucas Moura. Truly phenomenal goal. There is no stopping that. Robert Lewandowski opens the scoring for Bayern Munich. And what an incredible goal. You just have to sit there and admire that. There was not too much I could have done about that. The only disappointing thing was perhaps he should have really been playing him offside. Having a look there, I think it's Jeremiah saying juiced. But again, a terrific ball to Lucas Moura. He offloads it to Lewandowski with some incredible control. And there's no mistaking that finish. And what a disappointing start. Oh, Hummels. Someone's got to close that gap. Close that gap. Oh, it's another ridiculous finish from Lewandowski. Pretty much a carbon copy of the first one, actually. Just takes it on the volley. And, oh, it's going to be one of these another ridiculous replays. Just show me the goal. What's with all... I don't need to see 50,000 angles of him before he takes a shot. Just show me the goal in a normal replay fashion. Please. But, yeah, good goal again. You know, not much I could have done about that. It's really in the build-up that we've got to compete. And the referee's probably going to blow it for half-time here. I imagine it was probably played over stoppage time as well, but you know, didn't actually notice. So 2-0 at half-time. Really poor performance. Can't get a foothold in the opposing half. I'm going to make changes here. Gossens is coming off because he's had a really terrible game. Marco Reus coming off as well, and Adeyemi coming off for Donyell Marlon. We're going to change the tactics as well. We're going to go constant pressure. Width, we're actually going to... No, we'll keep that as it is. Want to get more players in the box here. Corners as well, free kicks, all of these. Got to go now. We have to go for broke at 2-0 down. Hopefully we can get something in the second half. Yes, that's brilliant pressing. Donyell Marlon's in there. This is an opportunity. And it's 2-1 back into the game. Brilliant pressing. And in 62 minutes gone, we've got a sniff. We've got a little glimmer of hope. Really good pressing. Bayern Munich trying to play out from the back. And finally, Thorgan Hazard wins it. And comes into Marlon, who's been, of course, been played onside by Alphonso Davies. Really good finish. Calmly past Neuer. And 2-1. Let's go. Well done. St. Just Hazard. Oh, there's some space for Max Aarons here. Thuram running in behind. This is an opportunity to make it 2-2. Good save. Cleared off the line by Upamecano. And I thought that would have been the goal. Bellingham. Marlon. Going to Schultz. There's the chance. There's the goal. 72 minutes. Back from the dead. 2-2. And it's substitute Nico Schultz. Marlon and Schultz coming off the bench to score. Brilliant play. Second half has been much, much better. And that constant pressure allowed us to regain the ball quickly and go again. Donyell Marlon with a really nice flick on. Schultz places it into that far right corner. I was worried maybe I should have squared that to Thuram, but it was the right decision. And with 72 minutes gone, we are back into this game. The question is now, do we stick or twist? Because we're obviously on all this constant pressure. We're really committing. We've got getting in the box and attacking fullbacks on. Is do we keep that on when we're playing so well, or do we go back to normal? I think we keep with it. I think we try and, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. We try and go with what's working for us. But he's got some support. Oh, that's a foul, surely. Ref! That's a blatant foul, you clown. Options here. Marlon getting on the end of it. Hummels at the back post. Oh, he's got to be able to do something with that. Just divert the course of the ball. Thought that was the option. St. Just tries to get this up. We're probably not going to get the opportunity. Marlon through to Thuram. There is an opportunity. Oh, Thorgan Hazard. That is a poor pass. His performances have been so dead this season. They really have. Can't find an attacking midfielder outside of Reina. And it's full time. It's full time. What a great comeback. Second half, so much better. Constant pressure, really working for us. We were just relentless. And we probably had opportunities to maybe sneak a winner there. And maybe come away a little bit disappointed. Much better in the second half. First half, we were not at the races at all, but really stepped up our game after the changes at the break. And, you know, it's not the worst result in the world, a draw away to Bayern Munich. So then, guys, this is how the table is looking now. Just 1 point clear of Leverkusen, but still very much in our hands. Remained unbeaten, and now we've got this big, absolute monstrosity of a winter break. Look at that, oh, 5 weeks nearly. Can't believe how big it is. But there you go. And then we come back to the reigning champions Wolfsburg, who haven't been quite as good this season. Dropped off a little bit. Not even in the top 6, as you can see there. 8th in the end. So, you know, certainly, you know, an achievable run of form and game for us. So, we're now into the transfer window then, guys. And to be honest, I don't expect much to happen in the way of incomings or outgoings, actually. Now, looking at the squad, obviously we've had that Reina injury. And the attacking midfielders in this team, outside of Reina, haven't been very good in this save. Hazard, been hit and miss. Royce this season in particular, been very, very poor. You know, so that is an area where, you know, we're a little bit, do we go out, do we try? You know, there is an element of that. On top of that, also defensive midfielder, we have De Hood, who plays more of a deep line playmaker role. As a ball-winning midfielder, he's not really that type of guy. A little bit slower than what we'd like for that sort of role. We want someone who can get about the park more, particularly when he's trying to cover for the wing-backs, etc. And so, you know, we would like a defensive midfielder. On top of that, someone who's a bit more of an aggressor, a bit more physically able. Again, though, it's whether we go out and try and get that. There are options at the club. Having said that, the squad is getting a bit thin. So we are having a look. We, of course, wanted Konrad Laimer, and his contract was running out, but for some reason he's actually renewed with Leipzig. So that's really disappointing because I did actually want him, and I'm certainly not paying that sort of money. We looked at Gundogan as well as more of a box-to-box mid. He's also renewed his deal, so we won't be bringing him back, so I might as well take him off the list now. Same with Laimer actually as well. Mukiele's renewed his deal. You know, most of them have renewed their deal. Ryan Gravenberch was another one we were looking at, try and convert him into a cam as well. His contract was running out, but he's renewed, so we won't be paying his 90 million release clause. Same with Araujo as well. We were looking at him, renewed his contracts. I mean, the list goes on. It really does go on. Aster Vranckx is one that we are considering. For sure, 20 years old. Obviously, Wolfsburg reigning champions, but have really dropped off this season. So I think an offer from someone like us, who of course top of the table at the moment, would appeal to him. We'd pay more than what they're currently asking here. It's saying 7.4, a value of 5.5. I think we'd pay something in the 8-figure region, somewhere over 10 million. So he's one that we can look at, and we can try and slot into that defensive midfield role. Obviously only 72, lots of room to grow, but certainly got those physical elements that we are looking for in our defensive midfielder. Charles de Ketelaere, in terms of attacking midfield, is a very, very good option for us. And I was considering whether maybe we put someone like Thomas Meunier as part of an exchange deal. Of course, going back to Belgium, back home. You know, that's an option for us. Because obviously I don't want to pay like 49 million that they're asking for. But I think it's definitely an option for us. Thales Magno was another one, but I'd prefer someone a bit more developed and along the line like the Ketelaere. I think he's going to fit into what we do here. So he's one we're going to have a look at as well and keep an eye on. So we have some advances then, guys. Charles de Ketelaere. We've had an offer accepted for him. The final fee is 30 million plus Thomas Meunier. So Meunier is valued at around 7.5 on this. So a little bit more than I would have liked to pay, but definitely a good deal. He offers some resale value at only 21 and still growing. As for him himself, he's absolutely perfect. He's brilliant. He just fits what we want to do so well. High work rate, 6'4", versatile, can play on the wing, attacking midfield, up front, you've got 4-star skill moves and weak foot. And then in terms of the attributes, as you can see, he's just so all-rounded that he's just going to slot in perfectly. Very developed along the way. So this could be a really big signing for us. We're now going to go in and negotiate with him and see what this is saying. So in terms of the squad role, we'll give him important, and he's fine with that. Contract length, we're going to increase that to 5 years. I imagine we're going to put in a release clause here, and he has asked for one, 70 million in the end. Let's see if we can raise this to 80. Usually they don't accept that. They only want the same one. Yeah, he wants 70. So we're going to accept that. We'll allow a 70 million release clause. And then for the wages, signing bonus, 370, etc. Have a look here. I don't really see any problem with anything there. I think that's pretty decent. You know, we want to start including bonuses that I didn't do recently because, again, to get that more realistic proposition. I think that's good. I think we're all set to go here. We're going to submit the offer. He's very happy. Marco also, look at him, absolutely delighted with that. And that is a pretty phenomenal signing, I've got to say. Absolutely perfect. You guys know that we have chased him for a while. We really have. I spoke about him so often. We just didn't get it done, really. So to get him over the line, finally, is really pleasing, I've got to say. Quite satisfying for us, and I cannot wait to see him in action. So you join me in the middle of negotiations for Aster Vranckx here. We decided to try and boost this transfer fee up a little bit, so we've given them an offer of 12 million euros plus a 10% sell-on clause. I'm sure they will welcome that with open arms. Be good to try and get him into the club if we can. Add another sort of element to our midfield, really, particularly those central defensive areas. In terms of the role, we're going to offer sporadic. He might want rotation. No, he's good with sporadic. A 5-year deal is what we're going to offer him, and he's very pleased with that. We're actually going to disregard the release clause this time around, and he has no problem. He's asking for a lower wage than what he's currently on, so we're going to boost that to go above. He's on 27, so we're going to go to, let's say, 35. We'll boost his signing on bonus a little bit, put that up to 300, and then we'll keep the bonuses as it is. Again, he'll be absolutely delighted with that, which means there's another one through the door. And it also means, more importantly, that's us, hopefully, done now in this transfer window. I don't want more and more signings all the time. Just develop what we've got. Good to get 2 through the door to fix those sort of holes and needs that we have. And that's really all we targeted. And now we should be absolutely settled. So we've now got the game against Wolfsburg. Vranckx won't be playing against his former club. The Ketelaere also won't be getting his debut. I'd like to save their debuts for games that we actually play. Probably going to be against Bayern in a couple of weeks' time. We're going to sim these 2 games, as I mentioned. So we'll start with the Wolfsburg game. It is a risk, of course, simming this game, getting no control over it, but we're going to go for it. We do sneak a win. Daniel Marlon in the end getting the only goal of the game, a 1-0 victory in the end. Looks like it was a fairly good performance, judging by the ratings. They were pretty terrible, and you know, our ratings pretty much up there. In terms of the stats, though, doesn't look like much separated them, but there you go. That's a really good win. Very, very just sort of relieved, actually, that we can get that out of the way. Again, I know taking a bit of a risk there, but that's sort of what we chose to do. And in terms of the league table, I've got a feeling Leverkusen may have just dropped points. We have a look at this now. Try and find them somewhere on the list. Yeah, they did. Drew to Hoffenheim 0-0, which means we've now regained our 3-point lead at the top of the table. So that's really positive and a great way to get back to things after the international break. So now we're on to the next game against Arminia Bielefeld. We are going to simulate this one as well. Usually sort of struggle against these lower teams when simming for some reason. Let's see. Just got a feeling we're not going to come out of this one with a win. Thankfully we do. My fears were absolutely misplaced. Karim Adeyemi getting a hat-trick. Brilliant contribution from him. Great to see. That looks like the performance is a little bit down this time around, other than Adeyemi, of course, getting his hat-trick. But again, very, very pleased and relieved to come out of that one with a win. That's the most important thing. And if we have a quick look at the league table now as we get back onto the main menu, Leverkusen have actually lost. That is absolutely massive. We're going to go back here and see who they've actually lost to. Bayern Munich. They did play Bayern Munich, which means Munich have caught them up and only 2 points below. But for us, we're now 6 points clear. as we move past the halfway mark in the league from games played. So that's massive, absolutely massive. We've got a real opportunity here to breathe down the neck of this league title, and we've got to take it. So we're on to deadline day now, guys. As I sort of alluded to earlier, I weren't expecting a lot to happen in this window, and I don't expect a lot to happen today. Hoping that we don't really get any offers for our players. The squad is settled. We've made a couple of signings. Really pleased with how it's gone. You know, and I don't really want to be going out and you know, doing any more business. Interesting, you'll notice, you see any eagle-eye viewers in the right-hand corner, Noni Madueke has gone to Porto for 68 million. Somehow they've suddenly got all this money to spend. So, you know, we weren't going to spend anything like that, that's for sure. But nevertheless, a big deal. Obviously, a player we were looking at. And now as we come to the end of deadline day, nice and quiet. Business is all done. They are my favourite type of deadline days, and that's really huge window for us. I'm so pleased with how quiet it was from the outgoings and the 2 incomings we've made. So now then, the time has come. We are back to this reverse fixture against Bayern Munich, coming thick and fast. An incredible opportunity to steer clear in the league table. Bayer Leverkusen have just drawn to Wolfsburg, which means this is an opportunity to go 8 points clear if we can get a win today. Absolutely massive. So with this, it's just big, it's huge, absolutely huge game, biggest of the season without doubt. The plan now is for us to play pretty much most of these games for the rest of the month. We're going to come back, we'll reconvene, and I'll show you what happens in post-com highlights. So starting off with a exciting return fixture against Bayern Munich. This was the lineup. Charles de Ketelaere getting his debut after signing for the club. We went with the 3-4-1-2 again. This time Adeyemi up front instead of Daniel Marlon. And don't worry if you can't see the ball, because I couldn't either for the entire game. I was hoping just to get through this one 0-0, because honestly I was struggling so much to see the ball. But thankfully a bit of magic and power from Marcus Thuram in the 38th minute saw us go 1-0 up and hold on to that lead for the entire game. It was a really fantastic result considering the circumstances, because I just struggled so much to see the ball with all this snow on the ground. And a fantastic way to get one over, of course, our competitors in the league. 1-0 victory, seeing us take 4 points off Bayern. We then went into this game, a trip to Stuttgart, of course, with that 3-4-3 again, that narrow front three. We again continued with the 3-4-1-2, just a little bit of rotation on either wing, as well as Aster Vranckx as well. Charles de Ketelaere feeding through Nico Schultz here, who sent one over the top with a lovely dink cross to Joshua Wagnerman. I really thought we were going to struggle to get this goal again with these snowy conditions, but in the 79th minute, he snuck one in. Unfortunately, we couldn't hold on to the lead. Christoph Piontek getting them back into the game in the 88th minute and absolutely breaking our hearts. So disappointed considering how well we'd helped to keep them at bay and keep them away from our goal. In the end, it led to a very frustrating 1-1 result away at Stuttgart, and led to us really being a bit disappointed because of how emphatically we beat them 5-0 in the last episode. We then went into this game against Schalke, in which we seemed, as you can see, a return to the 4-2-3-1, and also lots of rotation as well. The likes of Koulibaly, Collins, Buffonta, Schultz, Wagnerman in the team, as well as Marco Reus. It was very much a risk, I understood that, but one that I did decide to take, and it went very well. Marcus Thuram getting 2, Charles de Ketelaere getting his first goal, which was absolutely massive in what was a 4-1 victory. Very happy to take that home with us and bring back 3 points after that 1-1 draw. We then resumed our Champions League campaign after the break against Sporting Lisbon away in the first tie. They, of course, have that 5-2-3 that we played against last season around. We continue with the 4-2-3-1, but this time quite risky situation with Marlon, Thuram and Adeyemi all playing, and we absolutely did a job on them. Max Aaron's been sent through. He squared it across to Marcus Thuram, who produced an emphatic, comfortable, confident finish on his left foot, and it was that combination that got us the second goal as well. This time lovely play down the right wing from Max Aarons, who produced a beautiful cross for Marcus Thuram to float like a butterfly and get on the end of it, getting his head to it, and the keeper couldn't keep it out. They did get one back, unfortunately, near the end of the first half, with a lay shot past Cobble, who couldn't keep it out. Giovanni with that goal to try and put us under the pressure a little bit, but we did respond very, very well before the break. Charles de Ketelaere putting Daniel Marlon through one-on-one. He produces a laced finish to fire it past the opposition keeper, and before half-time, the game was well and truly done. It was a bit of a quieter second half in the end, not much to report there, but a very, very good result. 3-1 victory in the end in Portugal, and really pleasing to take that back to Germany. What a shame that away goals no longer count in this competition, because we could be done. We then went into this game to round off the run of fixtures against Mainz. Back to the 3-4-1-2 for this. We also decided to sim it as well. Lots of rotation, as you can see. Koulibaly, Collins, Wagnerman, Vranckx all into the side. Needed a bit of rotation more than anything else. Unfortunately though, it did backfire for us. We only drew 2-2 in the end, despite goals from Koulibaly and once again Charles de Ketelaere. It wasn't enough for us to get the win, as Waldschmidt gets his brace and gets an equaliser in the 88th minute yet again. So a disappointing result, but in the end a good run. And with that, the league table is looking good. Really good. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's dominant, actually. It's starting to look dominant. And I'm also not afraid to admit that even I didn't think we'd be this good this season. I expected us to be better because, you know, if we go and have a look at the squad here quickly, you know, despite the fact we lost Haaland, we lost Guerrero, elsewhere the squad has improved, players are improving. You know, Marlon, his rating has gone up exponentially, the same as Bellingham, you know, St. Just, Bella Cobble, we could go on and on. All of these players are developing. You know, obviously we've improved with the signings as well. In terms of, you know, we brought more goals in. You know, last season it was Haaland, Marlon. This time we replace Haaland's goal with Thuram, but then we bring in Adeyemi. You know, and we're getting more production from that sense. So I knew we'd be better. I just didn't think we'd be this good. And the most pleasing thing for me is we've generally kept the spine of the main Dortmund team. I'm glad we haven't had to completely refresh the side, because I didn't want to do that. You know, you look at this, you got Cobble, you got Hummels, still the captain, still playing week in, week out. You got Dahoud and Bellingham, of course. Marlon there as well. Reina obviously would be there. He was a mainstay, but obviously injured at the moment. And then you've got the likes of some of the rotational players as well. Collins, Koulibaly, Hazard, Schultz, Royce, you know, a bit in and out, but still part of the rotation. You know, still playing a part as well, as like on top of a couple of Borussia Dortmund 2 players like Bafuna and Unbenhauen as well. So I'm really pleased that we've been able to keep the spine of the team and the squad here without having to completely refresh it, because that's not something I wanted to do. And so yeah, really just so pleased with how it's going, and with what, 11 games to go, we're currently 8 points clear, and so we've got it all in our hands. We really do. Still unbeaten. That's something I'm starting to look at now and see, you know, can we do it? Can we go the whole way? I'm not sure if it's been done in the Bundesliga before. I would have to check, which I'm going to after this video actually, and we'll milk that if so. But yeah, even the defensive side of the game as well was massively improved. As you can see, compared to the start of the season, we conceded a few goals. We've just tightened up. And part of that is also me adapting to the system more, getting better with the gameplay, but also the players improving, getting used to the system. The added pace of someone like Jeremiah St. Just has been absolutely invaluable, along with Bella Kotchap as well, providing great protection for Hummels, who of course is slower, but still very, very good. So it's just all really coming together to make a really nice end to the season, or at least what we hope could be a nice end to the season. We've still got the Champions League as well. We've got one eye on that, you know. There is an opportunity there for us to advance further if we can do it. We've got a great result in the first leg against Lisbon. So for me, there's a real opportunity to make this a pretty special season. And that would be even better and made even sweeter by the fact that obviously last season, you know, we failed at the final hurdles, and we got so close but not close enough with the Pokal final, the Super Cup, the semi-final, the Champions League, etc. And then just falling away in the league as well. So this season could just be a massive improvement on the last. So what can you expect from the next episode, episode 15? We're going to go into post-com highlights of the Hoffenheim game, as well as all of these games. Now, I was looking to do a live comp of Leverkusen, because obviously it's first versus second, but with all going well, we should hopefully get through against Sporting Lisbon, which will mean we'll have a quarter-final in the Champions League, a double-header, 2 legs. So as a result, we'll probably live-com one of them, if not both, but definitely one. So we're going to post-com probably all these games. So we got that to look forward to in episode 14, and I really do hope you guys will join me for that as we get into the business end of the season. With that being said, it's time to round it off there. If you've made it through to the end, thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful for you interacting and being a part of this series. Long may it continue. Make sure to drop a like if you've enjoyed it and ring the bell so that you get notifications every time I upload. Don't forget to check out my Patreon, where you can get access to lots of great rewards and perks, such as my FIFA 22 and PES 21 custom tactics packages, on top of a whole host of other perks as well. Get access to the Discord server, you know, join and chat with us in there. Lots of good stuff going on in there, so that'll be really great. The link to that is in the description, as are the links to my Twitter. Give me a follow on there, and my second channel where we're doing Football Manager 2022 videos, and also affiliate links to all of my equipment and gear. If you buy anything from there, it gives the channel a little kickback, and it is a great way to support me without paying any more than you already would have. On that note, we're going to round the video off there. So until episode 15, I will see you for the next one.